till he signs a contract. Until then, I'm not talking about it anymore, because I actually can't understand why this guy, I mean, he called him an idiot. You're either an idiot.
Whole thing, you know, this is history making, and I'm just gotta do a real demolition job, and you know, I'm hungry.
Fights that are going to turn up, so it's going to be skill against skill. Daniel is naturally the stronger of the two, but I suppose a lot of people Usyk's been with have been bigger and stronger than him, but he's managed to negate his way around one of the advantages.
Hearn crushes Daniel Dubois, hopes of beating Oleksandr Usyk with clinical precision. His jab was not physical but psychological. Look for a way out is a damning indictment aimed not at Dubois but at Usyk. That kind of mental weakness is fatal. Daniel has already cracked once, and Usyk is just waiting to break him again. Hearn also pointed to Usyk's age to drive his message home even further.
Very competitive, but he got stopped, and you know, he kind of looked for a way out in that fight, and I don't think that Daniel Dubois exists in the same capacity.
Hearn calls Usyk what he is, a generational great. Dubois fans hoping for perfect timing are fooling themselves. Usyk doesn't slow down, he adapts. AJ and Fury couldn't figure him out, and now Dubois is supposed to. That's not confidence, that's pure delusion.
Usyk, who is a generational great, sometimes, you know, those 12-round fights that he had with Fury, even the 12-round fights he had with AJ as well, it takes it out of you, and he's getting on. So it could be good timing, or Usyk might just be too good, but it's a...
Parker doesn't sugarcoat it. Usyk breaks down top-tier fighters with IQ and pressure. Daniel isn't even in that league. If Usyk tore through a J with movement and angles, what do you think he'll do to Dubois? This won't be a contest, it'll be a match. Parker tried to stay neutral in his next comment, but the truth slipped out again.
I feel like Usyk will be too much for him in terms of fitness, movement, angles, you know, just the way that he can break someone down. I've seen that in the fights that he's had with the top heavyweights.
Parker admits the elephant in the room. Dubois quit from a jab and hid behind controversy. Changed fighter or not, that kind of mental crack doesn't disappear. Usyk won't debate low blows. He'll target the same weakness and this time finish it with no excuses left. It will succeed in avenging his earlier loss to the Ukrainian.
Who do you see as the more dangerous opponent though, Usyk or Dubois?
I believe Usyk. I believe Usyk is a great fighter. Dubois is a changed fighter from his first fight. But then this is why we have the rematch, to see whether Dubois can overcome what he got stopped with a jab. And he did. A lot of people also questioning the body shot.
Joseph Parker already reminded us that Dubois got folded by a jab. Now Duke McKenzie can't even back him unless Usyk isn't involved. That's all you need to know. Experience heart control. It's meaningless when you're in with a genius. Dubois might have grown since the first fight, but Usyk is levels above. This isn't a comeback, it's a second execution, and Duke wasn't done. He then gave the coldest reminder about Usyk's gas tank.
I say, if he was fighting anybody else other than Oleksandr Usyk, I would pick him to win, but what they're convinced...
You think he is number 2 heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Duke McKenzie lays down the harsh truth. Dubois's team are playing a dangerous game with false hope. They think if Dubois turns up better, it somehow changes the outcome. But Usyk doesn't just match levels, he raises them. Every time Dubois improves, Usyk improves more. That's what happens when you're dealing with a fighter who's not just elite physically, but mentally sharper than anyone in the division. He's not slowing down, he's not shot, and he's not going anywhere. People waiting for Usyk to fall off a cliff are going to be waiting a long time. There are miles left in the tank, and Dubois is about to feel every one of them. This isn't just a rematch, it's a reminder that you can't game plan your way around greatness. Usyk isn't showing up to box safe. He's showing up to break a man again. And when Usyk speaks for himself, it's even more terrifying.
I still think that what Dubois' team are clearly overlooking is the fact that if Dubois raises his game, then Usyk will raise his game. Usyk isn't shot, he's not over the hill. He's got plenty of miles left on the clock, I believe. And I think if whatever Daniel Dubois brings to this fight, Usyk will...
Oleksandr Usyk doesn't talk like a man preparing for a boxing match. He talks like a soldier ready for war. Forget gloves, forget scorecards. He's ready for violence in its purest form. This isn't hype. This is a mindset Dubois simply doesn't possess. While Daniel's team posts sparring clips and talk tactics, Usyk is mentally gearing up for a bare-knuckle street fight. That's the difference between a fighter and a warrior. Usyk thrives in chaos, embraces pain, and welcomes darkness. And Dubois, he showed, in the first fight, that when it gets uncomfortable, he looks for exits. Usyk isn't just better at boxing. He's harder, meaner, and built from something deeper. That street fight energy isn't theater. It's a warning. Dubois is stepping into a ring against a man who doesn't care about belts or lights. He wants destruction. And this time, it's personal. Even Floyd Mayweather saw the greatness long before Dubois ever reached this level. Floyd Mayweather doesn't praise easily, but even he tips his hat to Usyk, a gold medalist, an amateur beast, a technician, who came up behind the scenes with elite pedigree. That's the level we're talking about. Dubois was getting dropped in domestic scraps while Usyk was building a legacy in silence, dismantling champions. Across multiple divisions, Floyd recognizes talent, but more importantly, he respects fighters who live for the craft, not the clout. Usyk never had to talk loud or beg for headlines. He let his resume speak. Dubois, he's a big punch and a shaky chin. Usyk is footwork, timing, IQ, toughness, and heritage all wrapped into one. Floyd knows guys like Usyk don't come along often. This isn't just a fight for belts. It's a collision between raw hype and proven greatness. And history shows us what usually happens when the spotlight finds a pretender. Now Dave Coldwell lays it out clear. This is not about age or drama. It's about levels.
I'm ready one fight and tomorrow. And the rematch. And the street fight. I'm ready.
Bare knuckle.
Tomorrow, maybe right now. Not boxing gloves, but it's street.
Dave Coldwell gives Dubois a few crumbs, but then crushes the hope with one sentence. Usyk is a different animal. That's all that matters. Confidence doesn't win fights, especially when it's coming from a man who got rattled by one clean shot and then collapsed in a cloud of controversy. Usyk, even with wars behind him, is operating on a level Dubois simply can't reach. Fury couldn't break him. Joshua couldn't outwork him. But somehow, Daniel's going to outthink him. Ridiculous. Take away that one dramatic moment in the first fight and Dubois was getting completely schooled. Everyone wants to talk about age like it's the great equalizer. But when you've got a ring IQ, like Usyk, you don't need to be younger. You just need one opening. And once he finds it again, he'll bury Dubois with precision and pride.
It's going to be hard to beat him. It's going to be hard to beat Usyk because he's sassy and he outpunched.
Adam Smith doesn't just hand out compliments. He delivers statements carved in stone. And when he says Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter of this generation, there's no debate. Usyk didn't just beat top names, he outclassed them. From dominating the cruiserweight division to making British heavyweights look lost, he's created a blueprint for dismantling size, power, and height. 2 wins over AJ, 2 over Tyson Fury. These aren't just victories, they're psychological. The man's movement is art, his timing surgical, and his mind a machine built to decode fighters in real time. Now you've got Daniel Dubois stepping up thinking he's the exception. A man who collapsed from a jab and blamed the rules for his own exit up against someone who's made legends look ordinary. It's laughable. Usyk isn't just better. He's smarter, tougher, and far more dangerous. This is chess versus checkers, and Dubois is still trying to figure out how to set the board. Adam knows it, everyone knows it, and on fight night the gap will be undeniable. And when Lennox Lewis speaks on who's truly built for championship glory, it's game over for Dubois.